Hi, everybody. It is January 28th. Yeah, time still feels like it's speeding along. Linty London, D. Moore, hello. Andrew Cruz, Linty London, twice. Twice a shout out for Linty London. Wonder Why, hello. Sherry Hughes. Yeah, you know. Amber Eyes, Antonio Ponce, hello. Patricia White, Silent Walk. Amber Eyes, Donna Davidson, Bourbon, Ohio. Hello. Very few are in-house tonight. Okay, so, yeah. Things are definitely heating up. But unfortunately, it is a propagandized heating, as far as I'm concerned. That's propaganda is all we get now, since Obama ditched it with the NDAA signing. Smith-Mundt Act, look it up. Yeah, it used to protect Americans. That was a law that protected Americans from having our own government and our own military use propaganda against us. Now, they were using propaganda before the ditching, the repealing of Smith-Mundt Act. But isn't it interesting that and it was during the Obama years, and he signed the NDAA, repealing Smith-Mundt Act. They repealed a law that made it illegal to use propaganda against Americans. They repealed it. It's no longer... It's fine to use propaganda against Americans now. Isn't that telling? Okay. It's very telling. All right, let's start with this. Talk about propaganda. Actually, let's start with this. So the piano is no longer roped off, and they're allowed to play, what is it, I can't remember, St. Pancras Station, and here, the cops are at it, but in a good way. that the communists are gone, now that the lying about Brendan Kavanaugh and how he was racist and he was hogging the piano and all of the crap that they were saying, now that that's somewhat over, we can go back to enjoying ourselves. First set of cops wanted Brendan. It was immediate that they believed the Chinese tourists over the Brit. So these were different cops. Maybe they were making a statement. All right, just a few minutes of this. I'm going to, no wonder the young. Look, we believed so many lies, baby boomers. But wow, this is causing an awful lot of division when you have, your propagandists, even celebrities, out there claiming, oh my God, climate change, we're all going to die tomorrow if we don't turn off all of our electricity. Not electricity, I'm sorry. Ooh, oil, natural gas, air conditioners, stop breathing, kill all your cows.
Redacted, we made their list because we are what they call new deniers of climate change. In fact, they say that because we question things and whether or not they're really reliable, sustainable, or green solutions like EVs, wind farms. They say because we do that, we take big money oil. That's a lie. We've never taken any big money oil. So let's talk about what it means to be a new denier, how we made this list, and what they want you to be able to hear and not hear. So if you question climate solutions like electric vehicles, wind farms, paper straws, you're guilty of what they call climate hate. You're a hater. You're hateful. And that makes you a new denier. And new deniers should be censored, deplatformed, canceled, shut down, according to globalists. We're going to show you where they actually say this in this new report. Now, here is actor Mark Ruffalo, who's been a longtime vocal environmentalist for a long time. He posted this on X over the weekend, detailing exactly what climate hate is. And again, I'm going to tell you, he says that people who do this are funded by big oil. He's lying because we're on the list and we're not, but here we go. He's going to lie to you anyway.
Big oil has a new playbook, but we're on to it. More than ever before, we see climate disasters happening all around us. The climate crisis is now undeniable, and that's a big problem for big oil. So now instead of getting their internet goons to deny climate change, they're getting them to deny something else. They're going after the solutions we need to transition to a safer future, like renewable energy and electric vehicles, and they're waging personal attacks against accomplished scientists. How do we know this? The Center for Countering Digital Hate has analyzed thousands of hours of climate-denying talking points on YouTube. Researchers found that big oil has found a new way to manipulate the public. Make no mistake, big oil is doing this because they know we're winning. They're getting their asses handed to them. Let's keep winning, and let's keep spreading the truth about climate change. Share this video and go to counterhate.com to learn.
Counter climate hate. Climate hate. I guess I don't have the reach that an awful lot of these people, but a whole lot of us are climate haters. Counter the hate. I wonder how much money he's making off of spewing all of those lies. This is what we're up against when we don't hold liars accountable. Wow, they just keep coming out, and then coming out with a force against those who speak the truth. And yeah, well, it's kind of like same thing. Sitting around doing nothing allows evil to spread. Okay. Hold people accountable for their lies. All people, not just politicians and celebrities and mainstream media and CEOs and All people. Your friends, your family. It's the only way that we can possibly create a better society. Humane society. And listen to this.
So we are managing this transition is what the globe is really doing. We want to make sure that people can turn the lights on, obviously, and we want to make sure that we are transitioning to clean energy so that we solve the climate crisis. And balancing that is something the Biden administration has been doing this entire time. We wanted to produce enough energy to keep our gasoline prices low, but also to make sure that our allies are supplied with natural gas at the same time as we are accelerating all of these clean technologies so that ultimately we do get to 100% clean electricity.
So she's talking about supplying our allies with natural gas? And didn't I in the live, I don't know, might have been last night, might have been 2 nights ago, they want to gut natural gas here in America? Isn't that interesting? They're doing a great balancing, right? Going from clean energy, or going from dirty energy to clean energy. How many people can afford their utility bills today? The electric cars, yeah, good balancing. How about the solar? How about wind energy? How about solar panels that don't seem to be operating very well for people? Oh, a hailstorm. Boom! Take out all of those panels. Good balancing. I love how they puff themselves up. They lie about themselves and the work that they do. And are there people that actually believe it? That's frightening. But maybe this is what we should do so we don't get lumped in to the climate haters, that group.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a important? Qu'est-ce qu'il y a de plus important? L'arbre, le droit à une alimentation saine et durable. Notre système agricole est malade. Les agriculteurs meurent au travail. Un Français ne fait pas tous ses repas tous les jours. On va vous demander d'évacuer ici.
Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. I'm sure they have something over that is protecting the actual artwork there. But, yeah. Okay. Good job, you two. Good job. You really influenced me now. I now believe in climate change. Southcrest families concerned with home insurance after flood damage.
Continues up and down Beta Street in Southcrest.
Oh yeah, we've been up since 6 in the morning trying to get this house dried up because it's so.
Wow, this is really happening a lot more now. A lot more. A lot more. Great.
Soap, there's been soap since Monday where the stove was at.
Some homes in southeastern San.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna ditch this window and we're gonna go to war. Biden blackmail intensifies. Won't shut border until Congress coughs up Ukraine and Israel funds and Taiwan, and would still allow as many as 150,000 illegal crossings per month. Okay. All right. Anybody who hears this would think to themselves, you would think, something's wrong here. Why isn't he concerned about Americans? Isn't he the president of America, United States? He doesn't seem very concerned about us. Cough up what we need for Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan. So, I'm going to post this article. It's Paul Craig Roberts. And the article is essentially saying that white people are stupid and dangerous. The Western world, rest in peace. I'll read just the first paragraph. I have come to the depressing conclusion that the white ethnicities that constituted the nations of Western civilization have degenerated into such insouciance and stupidity that they have no possibility of survival. They sit mindlessly in front of TV, absorbing their brainwashing and indoctrination. They can't pay their rent, mortgage, or car payments, but they pay endlessly for care of immigrant invaders who are overwhelming their communities with material needs. Yay! That's what we're exceptional about. Texas seized part of the U.S.-Mexico border and blocked federal border patrol agents. Wow. Texas. You go, boy. Uh-huh. Staged. Mainstream media is on it. Fanning the flames. Texas seized a part of the U.S.-Mexico border. Okay. And Governor Little to send Idaho State Police troopers to Mexico border amid Texas standoff. We've got Nome in South Dakota. We've got Little in Idaho. We've got DeSantis sending state troopers from Florida. Oh, it's a big show. It's a really, really big shoe. God's Army protest convoy going to southern border for rallies. One of the headlines was armed truckers going down to the border. Yeah, well, even Putin, Putin ally, ominously suggests Texas could launch civil war in the United States. So it's interesting how mainstream media keeps that civil war going. And, hell, it could very well break out, but, you know, everything's a lie. And, well, yeah, do we want the border secure, closed? Absolutely. But this I think is really a trap, and I have never felt so strongly about any of the protests that go on or rallies or whatever than I have with this. Because I knew the border is wide open, even in Texas. So what, they're guarding about a 2-mile stretch? For those in other countries, you know how long is the Texas border? It's long. All right. They're not protecting other areas. Though I heard, I saw some tweets and people are saying, well, I heard that National Guard is going to other areas. There are a lot of different areas, but you've got to protect the whole border. Because as you will see later on, they are coming through an area that is like 2 miles away from the staged show at Eagle Pass port of entry. House Republicans release articles of impeachment against Mayorkas over handling of southern border. So you're finally doing it? Really? Wow. Okay. Released 2 articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Mayorkas, accusing him of willful and systemic refusal to comply with the law and breach of public trust. Is treason not a word that anybody uses anymore? I have not heard it from Democrats. I've not heard it from Republicans. It's treason. All right, so we're also just going to explore a little of what's happening in the world. Why? Because it affects us. Right? Yeah. Iran-backed groups kill 3 U.S. troops in Jordan and injured 25. An outpost called Tower 22, located very close to the Syrian border, and the casualty rate is so high as soldiers were reportedly sleeping in tents when the drone struck. Okay. Drone appears to have come from Syrian territory. Does that mean it was Assad? Or is it the Houthis? Who? We don't know. We don't even know if this is true. But you got to look at mainstream media, what they're reporting, because this is where they're bringing us. This is the root, but listen to this guy.
I've already delivered the message to Iran. They know not to do anything. Hang on one second.
Can you continue bothering the Houthis if the attacks don't stop, sir?
Say that again?
Continue bombing the Houthis if the attacks don't stop. Will you continue with the strikes, sir?
We will make sure that we respond to the Houthis as they continue this outrageous behavior, along with our allies.
And this one shakes her head. That outrageous behavior? No, the outrageous behavior comes from Washington, D.C. and Tel Aviv. That's where it comes from. But psychopaths and narcissists, they're always pointing the finger at somebody else. And they are just so pure. Sickening. Israeli tanks terrorizing displaced Palestinians, forcing them to move further from Khan Yunis towards Rafah and Gaza. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. Israel just bombed civilians in a tent. That is outrageous. So is this. So it took 112 days for Israel to come out with the propaganda that 7 United Nations, I thought it was 12, but maybe it's 7, United Nations relief workers were involved in the October 7 attack. Ironically, it just happened to be the day after the ICJ, International Criminal Court of Justice, refused to throw out the case of genocide against Israel. The US, UK, Canada, Australia, literally going to starve 1 million children as punishment. The relief workers don't only provide relief for Palestinians, but also Syrians and another group. It is really, our evil has become acceptable. It's been acceptable all my life. But when it gets so obvious and it's still socially acceptable, I guess people, they have their perception and they don't see it as evil. When you're killing children, it's evil. Black and white. And we're good at that. And listen to this. It will be impossible to win the war if we do not destroy the United Nations Relief Worker Agency.
במלחמה הוא לחסל את האיום ולא להרתיע אותו, ואנחנו יודעים איך לחסל פעילי טרור, קשה לנו יותר עם רעיון. אונר"א זה המקור של רעיון, שאמרה עינת, היא יולדת עוד ועוד טרוריסטים בכל מיני שיטות, ואי אפשר יהיה לנצח את המלחמה אם אנחנו לא נשמיד את...
Every video now that I play. All right, so this was a while ago, and there is evidence that the United Nations relief workers are teaching Palestinian kids to hate Jews, just like Israelis teach their children to hate Palestinians. Hey, maybe focus on your own, indoctrination propaganda that gets all Jews and Israelis to hate Palestinians, and then the Palestinians can focus on how they're teaching their children. Maybe that could solve some problems. But Nancy Pelosi drops some truth.
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental. I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel.
We are partners. We are partners. So any of you who are anti-Semitic and pointing fingers at Jews and Israelis, point the finger at Americans. Point the finger at Washington, D.C. as well. Cooperation. Our cooperation. This is our cooperation. Brothers shot dead along Gaza evacuation route.
طلعوا بعيد عني تقريبا متر 3 متر 4 متر بعيد عن البيت ضربوه طلق في رجله. بقول انا كيف يعني معاه رايه بيضة وطفل زي هذا ينطخ في رجله؟ تعال يابا تعال قوم. قام سند حاله على ركبه ضربوه طلقين ثانيات، واحد في صفحته وواحد في رقبته أردوه قتيله. الحين اخوه الثاني بقول له انطق الشهاده يابا يا اخو انطق الشهاده اللي هو رامز، وجري عليه قام ماكل الطلق في قلبه ارتمى فوق ومات. كله قدامي، كنت انا وامه واخويا واخوته.
هستيريا، انا خلاص انا مش عارف، انا كل اللي بدي اولادي، انا بدي اولادي يمكن يكون لسه فيهم الروح، يعني على امل انه لو اجى اسعاف يمكن فيهم الروح، يمكن نقدر ننجدهم.
الطيارة تطخ وصير من الأرض بتشمط نار، صرنا نجري على النار. سحبت بنت والبنت الثانية ما قدرتش أسحبها، ما شفتهاش من كتر النار. بتعرف شو نار؟ كل ما أقدم نار راحت بنتي.
What's outrageous again? Australia must consider bringing back conscription as all-out war with Russia looms. Australia must consider reintroducing conscription to boost its troop numbers in the face of a looming all-out war with Russia. Is it coming? Well, let's wait and see. Maybe they'll start a civil war here, and then on its heels, as that civil war is raging, boom, another war comes to our shores. Oh, we're looking at not a pretty picture. It's not a pretty picture now, but it's getting quite ugly. All right, so I'm going to drop the link to this, and you can watch the full video. I'm just going to play a few minutes, but yeah, things are heating up. Not just in our country, American versus American, state versus federal, but a whole lot of places.
All right, so the war with Lebanon and Israel is about to ensue, according to numerous inside sources who are claiming and citing troop deployments and positioning of Israeli forces along the northern border and correspondingly in southern Lebanon with Hezbollah. We have but days before this fighting erupts and starts sending out sparks throughout the entire region, erupting into a massive conflagration that we're not going to be able to extinguish. It's very likely that the markets that are completely rigged and manipulated will remain completely indifferent to this, because recall, we've just seen an oil tanker get hit by a missile in the Middle East, in a war zone, no less, and not even barely a blip on the radar in terms of moving the needle on global crude oil prices. Isn't that amazing? Aren't we living in a clown world or what? The U.S. is going to be stationing nuclear weapons in Britain imminently. We also need to talk about the border crisis, which continues to intensify, very likely going to erupt into some low-intensity civil unrest, in the very least, quite possibly erupting into a major conflict between state and federal levels. We're also going to see a corresponding humanitarian crisis. Not many people are thinking about this yet. This is going to create a massive bottleneck. All those 300,000 people who came across the border, the record amount in December of 2023, well, the same amount are en route, and this is going to create chaos, okay? Total chaos. This is going to garner the attention of the international community, and it is just going to create all kinds of political rifts that already exist, deepen them, widen them, and it's going to lead to all kinds of conflict. Now,
and I agree with everything that he says, and people call him a fearmonger and all of this. Are you afraid? Is that why you listen to these videos and you go, oh my God, that guy's a fearmongerer? As the world is literally just blowing up in our face, fear-mongering. It's not going to happen. It's just fear-mongering. All right. So, this is Tucson Airport. Non-U.S. citizens without passports only enter here. And they get on planes with no passport, no identification, and their airfare is paid by the American taxpayer. Yeah, what did this woman write? Flying out of Tucson Airport, far more migrants with new phones and no ID than there are regularly ticketed travelers who are required to show ID. We are truly being invaded. Yeah, truly. How long have I been using that word? U.S. Border Patrol Council VP Art Del Sueto. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but my long-term subscribers know. I suck with pronouncing names. Sending a shout out to journalists who have gone to Arizona. Yeah, a whole lot of people just want to focus on Texas, Arizona, California. Wow, a whole lot. And it does seem that Texas gets an awful lot of the Latin American, Central American, South American migrants. Arizona gets a lot of the African migrants. California is getting a lot of the Chinese migrants. Could that be strategic? I don't know. But here, let's listen. And look at that sky.
The border in Arizona has gone ignored for a long time. And the reason I talk about that is because the border in Arizona continues to lead the country when it comes to gotaways. And the numbers that are coming here are huge. Unfortunately, we're in a state where no one really talks about it because our governor isn't going to talk about it, right? And so that's the first frustrating part. Second of all, it's difficult for the media, and I do want to give a shout out to those from the media that have done something. I mean, you look at individuals like Ben Bergquam, Allie Bradley, those two, man, they'll go where no one wants to go and to actually give you a real story. They don't just sit behind their computers and say, well, I'm a citizen reporter, or I'm going to get these snippets and that snippets and edit everything. So huge shout out to both Ben and Allie, because there was a
I'm a New Yorker. I don't have the kind of patience to just wait and wait and wait. But the internet provider here sucks, and that's what's going on. But by the way, did you know that there was a terrorist attack in Canada? Just recently, terror attack in Canada, Edmonton City Hall. Retaliation for what is going on in Gaza. Bez Haney Sarva was charged after shooting up and throwing a Molotov cocktail in the City Hall building. I'll link below to this. You can watch it on your own. Yeah, we're going to have an awful lot of that kind of behavior going on. So, heading to Eagle Pass, Sarah Carter, and she's actually passing Florida Highway Patrol, heading the same way to Texas with Operation Lone Star, since the feds don't want to protect us. You know what? Neither does Abbott. But hey.
You know what?
You ready for that?
I'm not ready for any. I'm ready to get to Eagle Pass and Shelby Park. But right now ahead of us, we've got a couple of Florida state troopers. They're heading out to Eagle Pass. All of this is to assist Governor Greg Abbott hold the line, literally from the federal government. This is crazy. I can't wait to get out there. I'll update you guys as soon as I do and let you know what's going on. You know what?
People are heading down there. So are state troopers heading down there. Come on. Wow. Okay. Try reloading. Wow. Okay. You gotta wonder, man. Is this happening to everyone? Or am I just the lucky one? So, seen yesterday in West Texas along I-10. And when I see people who actually write seen yesterday along I-10, I want to trust that somebody actually saw it, that it's not a repost from years ago. But who knows?
Whoever delivered this is... Wow.
It's over.
Who knows? But people are still coming through Eagle Pass.
Bienvenidos a San Antonio. ¿Qué país eres ustedes?
Cuba.
Cubanos, los dos.
Sí.
¿Esa es una pareja?
No, somos amistades.
Amistades. Cuéntame el viaje y cómo pasaste.
Well, they should make the live stream go very fast. These people coming through the Eagle Pass area.
Fernando Arce here, citizen journalist at the American Replacement Center. Hola.
But this is San Antonio. But they're saying that they came through Eagle Pass within the last couple of days.
Pregunta, soy reportero. ¿De qué ciudad viniste? Ecuador, ¿tu país, tu familia, tu esposo? Bienvenido a San Antonio, Texas. ¿En qué entrada viniste? ¿En qué entrada? ¿Qué frontera?
Piedras Negras.
Piedras Negras. Yo pensé que eso...
You think it's buffering because the internet is overloaded? The whole internet may have to up her upload speed. Really? You think that if I could, I wouldn't have done that already? And this man also came through Eagle Pass. So, what is going on? Oh, more barbed wire reinforcement. This is over barbed wire also, okay? It's over barbed wire or razor wire to go up along the 2.5-mile stretch in Shelby Park, Eagle Pass. Too bad it's not being installed everywhere else along the Texas border. Quite right. Good job, National Guard. Good job. How about along that border? Why is this only about Eagle Pass? Is the rest of the Texas border open? It is. In fact, Eagle Pass right here, and about a couple of miles down, Border Patrol is picking up migrants. That's the insanity of what's going on. This is the Texas border. This line down here and all the way on up. That's a lot of miles. Just Eagle Pass, though. We want to contain our show. And here, this is JLR Investigates, and he Border Patrol is... I showed on a live stream last night that just past Eagle Pass, where all of the National Guard is, and they're protecting Shelby Park, this guy is driving along, points out where the National Guard are, and they fortified that area with an extra fence. And then he's driving along, and he said, it's like 2 miles down the road, and the gates are open. And then he passes another gate. One gate was closed. 2 were open, and that's where they're coming through. Don't you wish you could get through to people? Yeah.
That's Border Patrol. That's Border Patrol. So Border Patrol does go in. That's Border Patrol. It has green on it.
You see these bridge pilings? That's where the port of entry is of Eagle Pass.
That's a Border Patrol van. So when they do this, this is sometimes a pickup spot, folks. So we'll see if anyone gets marched down or dropped off there for Border Patrol. Look, there's people getting out of that van. I can't tell what's going on. Oh! There's people getting in that van. They're doing an exchange. Let me see if I can get down here. They're doing an exchange. Yeah, look, folks. They're doing an exchange. Migrants. Look. There they are. So the van swapped them right there. Yeah. And they're doing that in an area. Look at that. And the van goes. There you go. Drop off the product, ship them onto the Border Patrol van. And now they're going. And the van's going that way. Look at that. So it is happening at that border entrance right there at the wall. Exchanges are going on. Exchanges are going on, folks. Huh. A unmarked van sits there and waits while a Border Patrol van comes. And this is supposed to be on National Guard Texas takeover property. They're supposed to have this whole area taken over. So just east or south of these bridges over here, the bridges where you saw them, people are loaded onto the Border Patrol truck. Now that van will most likely turn left. It will go up the road, most likely to the detention center. Up the road. Wow, there's a group of them. I don't know how many there are. Now they're all going in the van.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All quiet on the Shelby Park front this morning. 2-mile stretch in Eagle Pass. Virtually sealed off. 2 miles sealed off. Oh my God. Get the trucker convoy down there. Let's have a civil war. So what you just saw with the Border Patrol picking up migrants was only a few miles away from what you're looking at now. Really? That's Abbott protecting Texas? Oh my God. And yeah, they're also coming in 15, 20 miles away in Normandy, Guamedo, according to sources on the ground. Well, I've shown videos of a whole lot of migrants coming in through the Normandy area. And here, another first-hand live account of the Texas border. The truth is the truth, no matter how it looks. Let me see. I'm going to refresh this. Maybe it'll play if I refresh. It'll play through. Or maybe it won't come up now. Okay.
Does this look, honestly, like this would stop anybody? All you got to do if you're on the other side is walk over here. This is what it's all about right now, is this razor wire. This razor wire is stopping nobody. Look, all you got to do, if you're on that side, snip the wire. That's it. This is all it is right here. This is all it is. That's what all this is about. But what it's doing is sending a message. It all is
sending a message. What, to the federal government? As if all these 25 states, these red states, are really fighting the federal government? That they think that they could win against the federal government? That in itself is laughable. But the National Guard, we're sending National Guard. We're standing with Texas. National Guard takes over Shelby Park. The National Guard was taken over by the Pentagon a whole long time ago. I don't know what channel it was. It might have been Never Lose Truth. But it could have been Kafka Winston World, where I showed the documents. The National Guard was usurped by the U.S. Army and Coast Guard. Why do you think the National Guard has been deployed overseas? Do you think it was Abbott deploying the National Guard overseas? Or was it the Pentagon that did that? That should have been a real wake-up call. Okay, so
doing is sending a message to the other side saying, hey, we don't care, it's a free-for-all, come on in. That's all it's sending. That's all it's doing is sending a message. But if you look at how pathetic this really is, all this really is. Easy just to come over here. It's so easy. Show all that. The main concern for me is how there's no water. There's no water in the river at all. I mean, it's easy just to walk over, as you can see. It's a joke. And Governor Abbott, for 3 years, have just been letting people in millions at a time, and now he's making a stand over this? Over this? That's what this is all about? I'm just trying to put it in perspective for people. That's all I'm trying to do. The truth is the truth, no matter how it looks. And that's the truth. Take a look at it one more time. This is what it's about, America, right here. This cheap wire that they can come over here and cut themselves.
Just bring some clippers and boom. Texas State Troopers and Texas National Guard assisting the Department of Homeland Security. Illegal alien facility. Camp Charlie.
While documenting the Firefly Lane Illegal Alien Processing and Detention Center, run by DHS, a federal facility, also known as Camp Charlie, that has many private security companies, private contractors, CBP officers, National Guard, and other law enforcement on site, I was pulled over on a public road by Texas DPS. They said I was speeding.
First, I'll be your speed back there.
Oh, my speed, really?
Yes, sir.
What's the speed limit around here?
30. There's a big sign on that side. It was on this side. It said 30 there, sir.
Ah, what was I doing?
40, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I don't think I was doing 40 around there. That's pretty... I don't think I was...
Where are you headed to?
Huh?
Where are you headed to today?
I'm just checking out this whole facility around here and everything.
Checking the facility?
Yeah.
Okay, do you work for like a contractor company or something?
Nope.
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 Just checking it out?
Yeah, just checking it out, just driving around.
Okay. And
Yep.
you're from where, sir?
I'm from McAllen. McAllen area. Yeah.
McAllen area. Okay. And
Yep.
how many days were we planning on staying over here?
I'm not really sure.
Not really sure.
Yeah, just kind of checking things out.
1 second. I'm just gonna check with you. How often do you travel?
I mean, I don't know, every so often.
Do you mind if I ask what do you do for work, sir? Do you mind if I ask what's your guys' relationship?
Huh? Oh, it's just my buddy.
Buddy? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, for
Man, was I doing 40? Huh.
There's no way. We haven't got 40 all day. He's lying.
Well, yeah, of course.
He's fishing. He's very obviously fishing. Hold on, let me check your vehicle.
Yeah.
They reported that we keep driving around here probably, so he came to...
Of course.
So he lies and says that it's speeding. If it was speeding that was the problem, then he would say, hey, watch your speed through here, and let you go, not ask 15 million questions like he's doing.
Right. Shortly after being released with a written warning for speeding, I went to the front of the facility, right where the Texas National Guard parking area is. They also have a building there. Yes, that's right. Texas National Guard has a building right there. You can see a female soldier with no rifle or body armor. And as we come out of our vehicle and we have our cameras, this soldier here comes out with body armor and a rifle. He also has a mask up over his face, and he comes out to take pictures of us. Now, he has body armor and a rifle, and all we had were cameras. So it's important to note that the female soldier who was outside did not have body armor or rifle, meaning it is not standard operating procedure to have that equipment on you while outside. No, this guardsman and his superiors perceived us as a threat. Now, why would they perceive American citizens with cameras as a threat? Is it because we are documenting a DHS federal government facility full of illegal aliens that is working with Texas state law enforcement and Texas National Guard? Who pulled us over outside of the federal facility? Who surveilled us with a rifle and body armor outside of a federal facility? Who is supporting and assisting security operations outside this DHS federal facility? Texas state entities. No federal entities made any contact with us that day. Only Texas State Trooper DPS and a Texas National Guardsman. Now, if Texas State and the federal government were working together to run an information op to make it seem as though Governor Greg Abbott is taking a stand against the federal government, who just 12 miles down the road are having a feud at Shelby Park, as if
a feud at Shelby Park.
They are at odds, as if they are not working together. Anybody documenting that just up the road from Shelby Park would be a threat to their information operation. The information war is the biggest war there is, and it's been going on for thousands of years. Stay informed, look around, keep your head on a swivel, and do your own research.
Yes, do your own research. And don't listen to mainstream media to get truthful information. Listen to mainstream media only as a roadmap to where we are going. They're working together, okay? Just like, yeah, U.S., Israel work together. Texas, Abbott, who's World Economic Forum, working together, getting everybody all heated up, getting people going down to Eagle Pass. But there's an awful lot of that border that is not protected. Why is it happening now when we have so much going on in the world? Civil war. How many military women and men are here and not overseas? Oh, but military, you can don't expect law enforcement to actually take the right side. You can't. You're not going to, right? You're smarter than that. Any kind of law enforcement and military, they are not protecting you. And here are another video of the massive military movement seen in Texas.
Getting even further south, somewhere where the sun lasted all year round. Really got a big about getting even further south, somewhere where the sun lasted all year round.
That might be the same train, I don't know. Here, another one. TikToker claims Texas Governor Abbott staging artillery units, heavy equipment towards the border.
Hey, TikTok community. Governor Abbott has made some moves in the last 24 hours. There are a few heavy equipment artillery units staging up in Texas as we speak. I don't have much video, but I have You can look it up yourself. You can find it on TikTok. You can find it on YouTube. They're moving equipment, heavy equipment, from helicopters to tanks to armored vehicles. They're on the move. They're on the move. Pay attention to the media, the stuff that they're saying, because you have to read between the lines. With the typical media BS is not what you expect. Obviously, you have to do some research and read between the lines. There's a few people down there that I know. They're telling me that there's equipment showing up, a few heavy equipment vehicles and armored carriers and armored vehicles and types of, they're coming in helicopters and all types of equipment. There's a big move happening down there as we speak. They're moving stuff around and staging for something. The soldiers are arresting migrants as they're coming across the...
No, they're not being arrested. Okay, so, and this was JLR in Arizona. He is down near the border, and he also filmed military movements. This is a different train because I've looked at all of the vehicles from the videos in Texas and this. So this is different military equipment.
Explain what that was. Hey, how's the reception out here?
I'll put the link in. I do recommend that you subscribe to JLR because he goes up and down the border and he shows what's going on. And he said that train, he's very close to the border, but he said that train was heading towards the border. And here, you know, there's so many crimes now being committed by illegal migrants, and everybody should be upset. The West Village, Bleecker Street, wow, I did many years right in this area, arrested 3 migrants who were pickpocketing customers in a bar. Victims were put in a van and taken to the precinct to get their belongings back and to file a report. Oh, God. All right, well, yeah, great, huh? Texas National Guard has border barriers set up just miles south of Shelby Park in Eagle Pass, but a large portion of the border remains completely open. Yes, a whole lot of people are posting on what the hell is going on here. Eagle Pass, 2.5 miles. While thousands of miles of border is completely open? Really? All right, I'm going to play some of this video here. Sabrina, I will post a link to the video, but it's very important what she is saying in this video. I do recommend that you subscribe to Sabrina Synergy on Odyssey, and very, very important. I'm going to play maybe even 10 minutes of this. But listen to what she's saying. Slaughterbots? Actually, wait a second. I'm going to play this video first. And then I'll get back to Sabrina.
Customer pilots directed almost 3,000 precision strikes last year. We're super proud of it. It allows you to separate the bad guys from the good. It's a big deal. But we have something much bigger. Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hell of a pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The stochastic motion is an anti-sniper feature. Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. They used to say guns don't kill people. People do. Well, people don't. They get emotional, disobey orders, aim high. Let's watch the weapons make the decisions. Now, trust me, these were all bad guys. Now that is an airstrike of surgical precision. It's one of a range of products. Trained as a team, they can penetrate buildings, cars, trains, evade people, bullets, pretty much any countermeasure. They cannot be stopped. Now, I said this was big. Why? Because we are thinking big. Watch. A $25 million order now buys this. Enough to kill half a city. The bad half. Nuclear is obsolete. Take out your entire enemy, virtually risk-free. Just characterize him, release the swarm, and rest easy. These are available today. We have a distribution network taking orders from military, law enforcement, and specialist clients.
The nation is still recovering from yesterday's incident, which officials are describing as some kind of automated attack, which killed 11 U.S. senators at the Capitol building.
They flew in from everywhere but attacked just one side of the aisle. It was chaos. People were screaming.
You can see high windows, very small, precisely punctured to gain entry to the building.
What did you do for the victim?
I just did what I could for him. Things weren't even interested in me. They're just buzzing.
Government sources admit the intelligence community has no idea who perpetrated the attack, nor whether it was a state, group, or even a single individual.
So if we can't defend ourselves, then we strike back.
We are investing very heavily in classified defense projects.
We make it our deterrent like our nuclear deterrent. We stockpile in the millions, the billions.
At key facilities, the White House, the New York Stock Exchange, Wall Street.
Safe in their homes.
Well, we wish we had boots on the ground in every community in this country, but we don't. So our instructions
Ollie?
and our suggestions are to stay in touch with
Ollie, hi, Ollie, honey. How's Edinburgh today? How are all your studies going, huh?
Good. Great.
Oh, great. Hey, aren't we doing a video call today?
I'm kind of with people, so.
Oh, well, come on, Oliver, put her on.
Oh no, it's not like that. No, wait.
Oh, well, listen, I see some photos here with somebody, and I can see lots of likes, and what's that all about? Oh, wait a minute, here, and on your
Mom, she's on the spy stuff in the military.
What is this video right here? Oh, no, I'm not going to click on that.
It's just this human rights thing about oppression or whatever.
Honey, you're not going into politics, are you? I mean, no protest march.
Safe here, just like.
All right, so the swarm bots come into the university and take out students. Okay, was that a movie? I don't know. I didn't see it, but a whole lot of people. That video, the guy in the beginning of the video who was talking about these bots and boom, AI, and they literally have profiles and can identify people based on the profiles, based on all of that data that we put freely on the internet. And a whole lot of people were saying, "Oh, that's not true. It's just a movie." Well, movies do show us what they're working on, what's coming, and here's Sabrina.
Cybersecurity through human bodies is about bone, your generative RSA keys and all that kind of stuff. Bone, and your DNA, and then a whole lot of encryption that's quantum. Now, when you go through time, as we have been telling everybody, quantum is not real. Is it a particle or a wave? Photons? These are all psychological operations of sorts to make sure nobody talks about the reality of human anatomy. I didn't say aliens, and I didn't say religion. I said physiology, human anatomy. And it's really bad. It's very bad because we're trying to engender an intellectual dialogue with our own family members, and we've been nothing but brick-walled off by those of you that choose to lie for money, run ops, and lie about everybody. Everybody that tells the truth about, hey, you got buttons, they're out of control. We can't get our politicians to do anything real because the buttons are out of control. We're not going to deal with that. We are not going to deal with that. I know you're not, because Flynn is at it again. Okay? It's not again. It's the same plan. And when I saw the list of states and the dates that I've been writing down for a year. Now, hey, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to show it. Right, Stratcom? They know, because I've got 2 days like normal. I talk to them, I write stuff down, and then I post it. Normally, I'll just post it on the fly. But ever since I had to pull Tori and myself a bit apart for everything they're running right now, I've been more careful. And then I saw the fire being lit for get to the border, we're going to hurt people. How does the drone swarm work? Those of you that are headed to the border, have you ever heard of Osiris before with 5G? I can hear you. Yeah, they're going to be real pissed off at me if I come back in a suit with my hair in a bun, my makeup on, and pull you by your fucking nads into what you've taught everyone else. They all know, and yet you told our own people not a fucking thing about the real weaponry deployed. It's a Pentagon directive. It isn't somebody's imagination. And this is really old in contrast to those of you that are heavily augmented or augmented against your will. Quantum dot right to the third eye. Now, I've been trying to get energy workers, people who actually know the biofield, to step up, like really step up and understand if we don't teach other people how to shield and protect themselves, they're done. They're going to explode heart tissue. That's how the apps are written. No joke, no maybes. Laparoscopic surgery by a drone over your home and cognitive body area network synergy tech metric PDF. It isn't, oh, someday. It's already here. Do you know what Osiris is? I'm heading to the border. I'm going to get my gun. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What is Osiris? For the cybersecurity dude, you're definitely going to watch the rest of this. I'm trying to keep it short for a reason, but you're going to find out right now why the cybersecurity is such a bitch. So, what is Osiris? Well, first of all, what do Boeing, Raytheon, and all the rest of them use? Sensors, open system architecture. Who do they all work for? Information, surveillance, and reconnaissance. That's why it's always DARPA, IARPA, BARDA, and all that, telling whole countries what to do. Applied electrical signal technology. When you eat your lunch, does it come out your butt in the same shape that it went in your mouth? Body part, body part, body part. Why is everyone so stupid? Because you go to work and lie to their face. And you've been shipping humans like dogs and testing on people for non-invasive architecture N2, N3, and soon N4. We're going to see, per your IIT-SEC Black Swan, augmented humans. September 2024, I think, on the stage. So, we have radio frequency bands from the past, but now that we have the metamaterials in the 6G and the 5G, those of you that are going down to the border thinking you're going to do something, I want to introduce you to nano drone swarms, the kind that you saw on a YouTube video called Slaughterbots years ago. We have them. But we, as the DHS, are not the only ones that have them. Right, DHS? You gave it to the MS-13. You gave it to the drug cartels, GOTS and COTS. Let me explain it, because this is where my grandfather, not great, my grandpa, Fort Meade Station 1. You will note that here in the green, I'm like, this is Osiris, Marine Corps, September 28th, Command and Control, C4ISR. We got AT&T tied in, Bell Labs, and I said, you have all of these back-end systems in our copper, our fiber, already shooting signal front end and back, or front haul, back haul, to change it from 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G, whatever you need. With the 5G, we have nano-sized drones that use the 802.15.5, the sensor networks, to change the air molecules into whatever state, plasma gas, whatever, that it needs to be. Now, that's not only used for drones to chase you down and use the terahertz networks to anchor to your skin. It's also used for weather control, the Red Rwanda with Amazing Polly, which we talk about all the time, because we love to talk about things that we pretend don't exist since the Gulf War in 1994. We have the voice of God weapons on phone apps. It is not some eye in the sky, and it could be in the body of someone walking next to you. See how when you weaponize air molecules and you don't tell people that, you just kind of whisper geofence. Unfortunately, Alex Jones, I listened to him today. You fraud. Like normal. Huh. Someone tried to get you to talk about 107 and they're bullshitting and what they've been running with people, and you just sit there and pretend like your mouth is yours? That's tremendous, Mr. I know what the helicopters were for. Why don't you ever talk about anything real? Because it isn't lucrative. You hang up on people who try.
I'm going to put the link in again. You should listen to this full video. But MS-13, the cartel. Yes, there's a reason why MS-13 is all over the country. Know what MS-13 is. And I posted a video on this years ago. MS-13 is, and I'm not entirely sure it still is, but a couple of years ago, it was rated as the most violent gang in the world. Now, the Japanese have violent gangs, Chinese for sure, Russians for sure. MS-13, El Salvador, most violent. Okay, they're all over the country. So is the cartel operating all over the country. And we, the U.S., certainly during the Obama years, but it didn't stop, sent our weapons to the cartel. It should have been a big scandal. But Obama, 8 years, scandal-free. That's the bullshit that Americans listen to. Scandal-free. Oh. Okay. MS-13, cartel, have an awful lot of military technology, weaponry, airplanes, helicopters. And all of this is going on at the border. In a contained area for 2.5 miles. We see people who are actually exposing the Texas law enforcement working with DHS, who they're ostensibly fighting. I'm putting up more razor wire. This is so a joke, a dangerous one, that you would love to hear from an awful lot of awake people about what is going on here. But what you're hearing from most are saying, yay, instead of take a second look. Take a second look at what's going on. Now, I am going to play a video of Michael Yon, who's being interviewed by someone I don't particularly like or respect. Forget about Alex Jones, but listen to Michael Yon.
False flags are normal. A lot of people don't get that. They have this idea that agent provocateurs and false
No,
flags
they're almost
are
always a
something
precursor to any major political or military event. They're the norm, not the exception. Explain that.
Absolutely. It's just like a lure is the norm when you're fishing. You know, I use lures to fish, right? It's like that. Is that the exception or the norm? Look, why Texans and Americans, Texans are Americans, but other Americans are not going to close the border down by going to Eagle Pass. Why would you go into their baited end? Why would you let them choose the battleground, right? I mean, don't go in to fight and do violence for starters. But at the same time, don't go to a trap that they clearly are setting. Even if it's not a trap, it should be assumed that it's a trap because we saw what happened on January 6th. I've spent many years in wars and conflicts, and I've been to a lot of violent protests and, for instance, coups, two in Thailand, lots of false flags that were quite obvious. Like I was about to go interview a general one day and bam, somebody shot him, killed him, shot him in the head, right? I mean, these sorts of things are normal. I mean, I've seen so many of these sorts of things you wouldn't believe, right? And so for me, a false flag is like another day at the office. So it's not exotic to think about it. It is like my office, right? And this one smells like that. Now, keep in mind, this is a multiplayer game. It doesn't mean the U.S. government would be the one to do it. It could be CCP. It could be Russians. It could be Hezbollah. It could be anybody that wants to just get it on, right? It could be some.
All right, I'll put the link in. I think it's like a 20-minute video, and Michael Yon has a lot of good things to say about what's happening down at the border. Retry. Oh wow, look. Oh, it's circling again. Okie dokie. Circling.
Quote unquote.
Again.
But he's not a Texan. He's not an American.
Well, I mean, I hear you and I respect you, and I've got concerns about Abbott, but I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. What do you make of all these states joining us, saying they're sending the guard? It's really drawing attention to what Biden's doing. Is there anything good in this?
I don't trust them, Alex. It just doesn't feel right. You know, it feels like a baited ambush, you know? And just everything smells off because we already know that Abbott could stop this. Why is he not stopping it? And even the Eagle Pass, I'm in the Eagle Pass a lot. I've spent at least a month there in the last couple of years. I mean, I'll leave from Panama and go to like Piedras Negras, which is it's the Mexican city on the other side of the Eagle Pass. I spent almost 2 weeks in Piedras Negras because Abbott's, guys down in the Border Patrol as well were giving me a hard time on the Eagle Pass side, the Texan side. So I actually got a hotel in Cartel Land.
Well, that's right. We've had our reporters as well last year confronted by the state guard actually helping the illegals come in.
Oh, yeah, right in front of me. I mean, like, and I get far less hassle on the cartel side, which is the cartel side anyway, actually. I mean, there's no border. So I went and got.
Well, what do you think of Ken Paxton? He says that the
All right, I'm going to put the link in. I inadvertently forgot to hit enter. Enter. Okay. And click on it and listen to Michael Yon. This is really, for those who have been at the border documenting what has been going on, and Michael Yon has been all over the place, the border, Panama, Darien Gap. Okay, can you wait just a few minutes, Sweet Pea, please? Oh, babe. Oh, my babe. You want your treats? I don't know if you can hear his mournful, like, he does want his treats. Okay. Oh, okay. See, if I sit too long, he'll go out again. But then he'll come back and start meowing again. Really. Anthony Aguero is live. Invaders flooding in again. Look. Was it last night that I linked to the document, but read the article on the document for the revised, can't remember what it's called, but the migration plan, the United Nations? They've projected the numbers upwards for 2024. Okay? This isn't going to stop. The Eagle Pass standoff is not going to protect the border. Have you heard anything from the Arizona governor? Who shouldn't be the Arizona governor? No. How about California? No. They're coming in. So all of this is truly a staging that Abbott is doing, and the federal government working together to incite what happens next. And I played this video. I'm going to play it again because, it's very interesting what insurance companies are doing and excluding certain kinds of injuries.
Y'all need to check your insurance policies. Listen to this.
This is something that made me go, As you may know, I have had my insurance license in the state of California for over a decade. And when I was reviewing policies for 2024, I noticed this new exclusion. Look here, this is under exclusions and expenses not covered on a 2024 Cigna health policy. Treatment of an injury or sickness which is due to war, declared or undeclared, riot, or insurrection.
So if you get injured, don't expect your insurance company to cover, and it's not just Cigna as that video, which I'll link to, they point out. So isn't that interesting? Just this year, they have excluded injuries either from war, undeclared, or declared, insurrection, riot. Let me see. Am I still on Never Lose Truth? I'm not on Never Lose Truth 5? It's interesting. He's live at the border in Arizona.
School. But you might see them at church. You'll see them in their community. We have more influence with them than we do with Mitch McConnell or Lindsey Graham or Tom Cotton in Washington, D.C.
What Dan's referring.
I'll put the link in. The link is in the chat. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get it to play.
Thank you guys for being here with us. Total destruction.
Does the person in the chat who alerted us to Anthony's live, do you know where he is in Arizona? Look at that sky.
Thank you to my mod on Twitch, Miss Peters. Thank you for being here. How you doing, Michelle? You guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for showing up. Showing up is half the battle.
There was a lot of spraying today. Here. And I even took a video of this morning's lithium dose and black carbon dust. Alright, it's gonna be hard to get it to move along.
When is he gonna actually implement the Constitution and get these fucking people out? Deport, deport, deport. And actually repel, like throw military all along the southern border, not just there. Not just there. Like, that's what gets me. Like, if he was so serious, oh, Texas will protect its borders. Eagle Pass is like a minimal little spot. That 5 mile radius that could be, what, at the most 5 miles long?
But they're even letting migrants in within that 5 mile spot.
What? There's people's ranches upstream in Normandy and Quemado, Texas that are being affected by all this. And you're focused over a golf course? You don't need all that manpower out there. We've been begging for help. All of these smaller communities like Normandy, Quemado, he didn't bat an eye for these people during his election season. He didn't even go out there. Why? Because it's very, very low. There's very little people that live in that community, in those communities. So whether he garnished their vote or not, they wouldn't matter in a massive election for Abbott. So he didn't care about people in Quemado. He didn't care about people in Normandy. He only cared about Del Rio and Eagle Pass, plugging that up for the media, the whole show, and everything in between. All of those people, their houses have been robbed, their cattle have been killed, their homes have been ransacked, their freaking their food has been taken, grandmas have been raped, and now all of a sudden, and he's not even doing the full, like, the full play out of the Constitution. The Operation Lone Star, it's great. I get it. It's great that we have at least something out there. But it's relatively doing nothing compared to how many people are getting away and coming across. And I gotta be honest with y'all. I can't just like, oh no, yeah, like, you know, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And right now at this point, it's like, dude, put some fucking teeth in your bite, man. Now, everybody wants to grill that guy. But look at over here in California. Look at New Mexico. There's freaking areas out there that are completely unguarded, no walls. I'm looking for volunteers, not for people that want to go to secure the border, but people that want to learn, that want to go out there with me for the first time. It's an untouched area. Nobody has ever been out there that's documented and recorded any of this. I want to take a group of men. It's crazy. I ask people, hey, how many of you guys want to come out to the border with me? I get all chicks on my freaking emails. I get all women in my DMs. I'm sorry, I'm not looking to take any women. I want to be able to focus on the mission, not have to be looking out, trying to take care, trying to explain little things. I want to take a group of preferably fucking military or veteran, a veteran that might have time, that's retired, or a couple of you guys that have your RVs that want to travel, want to come down here. Boom, let's go. I can't take women with me. I'm sorry. And God bless all of you guys that want to volunteer. And I've just, it's sad to me that I put out a post or an invitation, an invite to bring people, to have them check this out, live stream for themselves, get to learn a little bit about the border. And everybody that emails me or messages me is chicks. How the hell the women got more balls than these guys? It's fucking mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Y'all motherfuckers rather be watching fucking football.
My hunch is probably a lot of women will get angry with what Anthony just said, but I understand it completely. You know, but it is sad. Where the hell are the men? So, yeah, it's just a sad time. I'll put the link in again. You can watch the live. Yeah, I mean, things are not good, all right? Things are really not good. And for the awake crowd, you know, we really need to use our brain, especially when these things are going on. You can see how it's being staged and they're kind of containing, you know. It would be very hard. It would be much more difficult if Abbott actually protected the entire Texas border for the federal government to, well, whatever the federal government is planning to do. It would be far more difficult up the entire border. So they're containing it. And then it could get very, very messy in a very contained, small area. So, yeah, whatever next week is going to look like, and then February 3rd, when the truckers are going to be meeting in Eagle Pass and Tucson, and another, well, a couple of other areas. There's one area, I think, in San Diego. I haven't checked the website, but yeah, we could be looking at another January 6th. But we all know that law enforcement, the technology that they have to surveil, to spy, the reconnaissance is quite mighty. And I mean, they could hit, everybody that goes down, they could hit him with electromagnetic frequencies and take them out, make them sick, or make them violent. We're already seeing mainstream media claiming armed truckers. I am so tired of the frequencies that I hear here. There's so much that they can do. So anybody who thinks that involving themselves in this, that they're actually going to be able to succeed further, maybe they'll wake some people up. Those who are hardened Democrats will think, oh my God, oh, look at this. I cannot believe it. Such racists those truckers are. Yeah, and I come from that crowd, and they love to stay in their bubble. For sure, more Americans are waking up to the fact of what's going on the border. That's good, for sure. But, it's so far along, and that's why, I've been saying the timing of this is very off. It should have been going on years ago. I mean, we have so many illegal migrants all over the country. They're not just coming across the border. They're also being flown in. Yeah, NGOs working to collect donations to fly migrants into the country. And who's involved in that? Obama, Bush, Clinton. Wow. Treason. We've got treason. We've got treason up the wazoo. And it's unfortunate that we've never been able to unite. We've never been able to organize. We've never been able to do anything. So now they can do whatever staging they want all over the country, in Texas, and we're screwed. We're screwed. If people in Texas don't get who their governor is, and there's an awful lot of people who are Republicans, awake Republicans who go along with the horseshit of their party. Oh, I'm not going to listen to you. Abbott is trying. He's trying to do everything that he can. 2.5 miles of the border. If you cannot see what is right in front of your face, if you cannot see what is obvious, very obvious, you're holding on to a delusion that makes you feel comfortable. Doesn't make you safe, but it sure does make you comfortable. And maybe it makes you feel like, oh, I don't have to do anything because Abbott's out there and he's fighting the federal government and he's going to do squat for you. Oof. It's like I get more frustrated with the awake crowd than I do the willfully ignorant, because at least they've taken a stand. And they're hardened, and it's the awake crowd that pick and choose the information that they will take in and then discard all of the other information that they just don't. It causes a cognitive dissonance, and it's too uncomfortable, and it bursts my bubble. You know, a whole lot of people still have this idea that as long as they're in a party and they vote for their guy, he'll take care of it. That's a very childish adult that believes that. We all have an investment here. You'd like to think that Americans will actually protect their investment, but they don't. They just pass it along. You know, it's called passing the buck. And we sure do know that, right? Right. So, it's a big mess we find ourselves in. And unfortunately, the only thing that we have control over is ourselves. And that's why, you know, it's like there's an awful lot of people who I've known throughout the years who will leave comments about, oh, they're brainwashed and whatever. But they're brainwashed in certain areas. Their indoctrination has not been worked through, you know, cleared out. So we all need to really do that work on ourselves so that we can really, the idea is to see the truth as clearly as we possibly can. Yeah, it bursts a lot of bubbles. It causes cognitive dissonance that's uncomfortable. It goes against, you know, the normalcy bias. It goes against, you know, that I'm only going to listen to information that keeps me in my bubble because it's comfortable. We need to do the work on ourselves. And it's work that just doesn't stop. Because the indoctrination, the inculcation of Americans has been intense. And you're cemented in it for a long time. You know, so taking the tools to chip away the cement, that it takes a lot. So, and we sure do want, and I would hope that everybody wants, to get to a place where we are living honestly, we are speaking honestly, getting to a place that we are more our authentic self. And a whole lot of people don't do any work, and they're not who they think they are. Because it does take work to get to your authentic self. And for anyone who believes in God, and God is your creator and created you, if you don't get to your authentic self, that is the biggest betrayal of God. You know, it's like the Bible, Jesus says, go, I never knew you, or I'm not one to quote the Bible. But no, I never knew you. Oh, but I worshipped you and I called your name and I did. So what? If you don't get to your authentic self, no one knows you, not even yourself. So it's very important. You can control your own behavior, what you do in your communities, helping people, extending yourself. Don't wait to be asked. Find out what's happening with the shelters in your community. Find out what's happening with the elderly in your neighborhood. You know, find out what's happening with the animal shelters, because boy, I don't know one animal shelter that does not need help. So those are the things that we can do. You know, we can speak honestly to our families and friends, develop ourselves as a trustworthy human being. If you don't do that, you are absolutely part of the problem. But because we Americans, we focus on material success, and then we talk a good game about everything that we value. And these are my principles. All you have to do is watch what people do. And that's when you'll find out the truth about them. So it's true for everyone. Don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. So I really hope that, I've said this before about other events, but I really hope nothing bad comes of what's happening at Eagle Pass. I really hope those who are going down or who want to go down really consider and be watching all of the independent people who are posting to find out that, wow, maybe this is really a staged trap that we're all kind of just running into. But also recognize there are so many migrants in our country. They waited until 10 million came just from Biden's years. Hello, they're all over the country. More and more are coming in. The United Nations is behind all of this. So, it's going to continue no matter what happens. I wish I was saying something different. You know, if you knew me, my early years posting, you'd be, you know, I don't know, shocked, but certainly like, yep. 13 years has really kind of, But that's because of the non-action, you know, that I've seen, I've witnessed, I read. So, thank you for showing up. I do hope to see you tomorrow night. I do hope all of you have that awareness. I can't smack my forehead because I still have that bruise. And today I woke up with a black eye. I have a black eye. I can't believe it. I'm like, how does this develop? Like, it's 2 days later. I wake up with a black eye. I was like, where did that come from? And 2 days later, I just feel like I'm so friggin' sore from the fall, smashing my head, and I felt better the first day. The next day was not so great, but okay. Today was horrible. I'm like, 2 days later, did my body just figure out, oh, she fell 2 days ago? So, I'm going to bring in all of the pain. It's weird. So, awareness. Awareness, awareness, awareness of your surrounding. More importantly, your awareness of yourself, your own behavior, what you're saying, how you're saying it, how you're behaving out and about. Don't get into road rage with people. Don't get into crap with strangers because you don't know them. And even though I have recommended that people watch learning body language, learning facial expressions, No, we don't just communicate with the words that we speak. And frankly, most Americans suck at communication. We communicate with our body. We communicate with our facial expressions. And if you could learn that communication, you can see it in other people. And it's I find it kind of fascinating. And it's really interesting, to do that work, because you're like, you literally feel a bump up in your consciousness, and it's your perception of life changes. And it's so unbelievable. But you also get to see how many people have not done the work, and they're filled with an awful lot of issues. And it's like, oh, yeah. It's, that kind of stuff is good and bad, You get to weed out quickly those who are clearly not quite right. Yeah. Carol with black eye. Oh, Illuminati. I had to go downtown to a store today, and I was a little embarrassed. I just wanted to say, no, it's not domestic violence. I didn't get into a fight with anyone. God, don't you just wish things were... I often think about even just living 5 years ago. It was so much easier. Well, anyway, thank you, all of you, and do be safe. On that note, good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.